Welcome to the mental health PowerPoint presentation of the Team 5. The members of our team are Neelam, Rama, Diva, Marjorie, Chime, Lyra, and Sandeep. Today we are going to present about a case scenario in our assigned community. Our assigned community is a 74 North St. James Town, which is a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multilinguistic neighborhood. It is the largest high-rise community and one of the most densely populated neighborhoods in Canada. It is bound by the Sherbourne Street to the west, Bloor Street east to the north, Parliament Street to the east, and Wellesley Street east to the south. So our assigned case scenario is a 31-year-old female, Jahara, who arrived to the Canada as a refugee from Haiti with her 3 kids and a husband in August of 2019. For the first year, her family lived in Quebec, supported by the government's resettlement assistance program, and moved to the Ontario for better job opportunities. Currently, they are residing in a small 2-bedroom apartment in 74 North St. Jamestown with low income and assistance from government. Jahara can speak little English with fluency in French and is jobless to support her kids who are 11, 8, and 6 years old. Her husband works at a local warehouse and does other part-time jobs, which she is unaware of to support the family. Back in the home country, she was a victim of the sexual violence and suffers from a post-traumatic stress disorder. Due to this, she has a tense relationship with her husband and has difficulty socializing with people. Recently, Jahara has been diagnosed with HIV in her recent medical evaluation and is referred to 74 North St. Jamestown Community Health Center for more support. Diagnosis of HIV and fear of being stigmatization has led to her to not disclose the diagnosis to anyone outside her medical care team. Her level of knowledge about the HIV is very low, and her major concerns are psychological stress related to her disease condition, fear for her future, cost of living, and supporting her children.
Hi all, this is Rama Chetri and I am going to present identified problem, definition and local statistics. Regarding our case Jahara, identified problem are that she is a refugee, she is a jobless and she is a low income group and she had to support her kids and family. And Jahara is a victim of sexual violence. She has a cold relationship with her husband and she is a diagnosed case is of a HIV positive. She has a low level of knowledge related to the health condition and finally she suffered from the PTSD. So regarding the definition, we first go with the HIV positive. So HIV means it's an infection caused by the human papilloma virus that attacks the body's immune system. We usually call it white blood cells, CD4 cells. HIV destroy these CD4 cells, so weaken the person's immunity against the infection. It's according to the WHO 2021. So person living with HIV is considered to develop a HIV/AIDS when their immunity system is so weak. So after its discovery in 1981, HIV/AIDS has killed more than 32 million people all around the world. So definition of post-traumatic stress disorder, it is a psychiatric disorder that affects the person who have a bitter experience related to the sexual violence or major injury, or who have experienced or witnessed a traumatic event such as a natural disaster, serious accident, or a terrorist attack. War or combat or rape. So it's according to the American Psychiatric Association 2021. So as we time proceed, PTSD is known as a different name. Like during the Old War first, it was known as a cell shock, and after the Old War second, it was known as a combat fatigue. After all, it is a result of a stressful or nerve-wracking situation. So regarding the symptoms of the PTSD, generally people present with the feeling of sadness, fear, anger, flashback, nightmares, detached from reality or other people. But according to the categorized wise, so PTSD symptoms falls into the four categories: intrusion, second one is avoidance, third one is alteration with the cognition and mood, and fourth one is alteration with arousal and reactivity. So next one is statistics. In year 2021, 6% of Canadian adults report moderate to severe PTSD, but 9.2 Canadians will suffer from any form of PTSD in their lifetime. It's according to the CBC 2021. So Canada has the highest incidence of the PTSD in 24 countries, followed by the Netherlands, Australia, and United States. So in Ontario, after the impact of COVID-19, 47% of nurses reported concerning symptoms of the PTSD. And according to the Government of Canada 2020, the prevalence rate of the PTSD was 1% in 2002 and 1.7% in 2012 for male, but it was a 1.2% in 2002 and 2.4% in 2012 for female. So we can say that PTSD is twice common in women than men.
Hi, this is Neelam Chaudhary. I'm going to present in nursing consideration for HIV positive and post-traumatic stress disorder. So since the client is PTSD, we nurse need to focus on mental health part. However, the nurse should also focus on the nursing treatment of HIV because any organ system might become infected or cancerous. It's according to Beleja and RN 2016. So going to the first step of the nursing process in assessment. So we'll see on the nursing, nutritional status, skin integrity, respiratory status, neurological status, fluid and electrolyte balance, knowledge level. So next, going in the nursing diagnosis. First nursing diagnosis is the risk for infection related to immune deficiency, and another is the distributed thought process related to certain attention span, impaired memory, confusion and disorientation associated with post-traumatic stress disorder. Planning and goal. So how we can plan is absence of infection, improve thought processes, increase socialization, support psychological adjustment, refer to psychiatric counseling and consultation, achievement and maintenance of skin integrity, increase comfort, improve nutritional status, absence of complications, prevent immunized development of new infections, maintain hemostasis, promote comfort. Nursing intervention. To acquire the client's trust, establish a rapport with her, it is important that the nurse accepts the client's existing state of functioning. When working with the client, she should also be constant, positive, and honest, as well as adopt a non-judgmental approach. Next point is to allow the client to express her feeling by giving her time and the chance to do so. Nurse must be able to recognize when a client is grieving and assist them in reaching a conclusion. Next point is assist the client in identifying sources of emotions to manage outbursts of rage. Assist the client in recovering control of their situation. Inform the client about using displacement whenever she is angry by manipulating or destroying clay. Discuss the client how her anger rises with each outburst. She can discuss with her family or whom she wants to express. Desensitize the client to her terrible experiences. Encourage the client to accept forgiveness from herself and others. Encourage the client to express her anger verbally rather than physically. Refer the client to psychiatric counseling or consultation, community organization, and support groups for more help. Encourage for regular bowel movement, prevent infection, maintain thought process. So how it can be done is client is encouraged to speak to family and family members, family and support networks members are instructed to speak to the patient so that she can ventilate. So next point is the improve nutritional status. Going to the last step of the nursing process is the evaluation. So how we can do is expected patient outcomes may include absence of complications, increased socialization, achieved and maintained of skin integrity, resumption of usual bowel pattern, absence of infection, improved thought processes, increased comfort, improved nutritional status. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shimpal, today I'm going to talk about assessment tool for HIV and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. The following assessment tool can be help with diagnose and the severity of HIV and PTSD of the client. First of all, we have to do her physical assessment. For physical assessment, we have to see any skin lesions and swollen lymph nodes. We have to do her medical history. We have to take her past and present medical history, monitor her vital signs, laboratory study we have to do, monitor functional impairment related to illness, psychological evaluation, functional status, to assess the client ability to perform activities of daily living. Biopsychosocial assessment, primary care PTSD, PTSD checklist for DCM, PTSD structural clinical interview, trauma screening questionnaire, the Columbia Society Severity Rating Scale, the PHQ Depression Scale, Davidson Trauma Scale. This is a self-report questionnaire measure frequency and severity of PTSD symptoms, which domains which are intrusion, avoidance, and hypoarousal. Short PTSD rating interview. It consists of 8 items that assess the core symptom of PTSD. Thank you.
Legislation. This law requires someone to HIV non-disclosure and criminal law. This law requires someone to disclose that they are HIV positive before sexual activity that poses a realistic possibility of transmission, so that the HIV negative sexual partner has the opportunity to choose whether to assume the risk of being infected with HIV. HIV non-disclosure is the term used to describe these cases. Several offenses have been made in HIV non-disclosure cases, including aggravated sexual assault and aggravated assault, while failing to disclose other sexually transmissible infections before sexual activity could also invalidate consent to that activity. And most cases that come to the attention of law enforcement concern HIV. The criminal code does not contain HIV or other STI-specific offenses. The Federal Framework of Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, Act 2018, is an act representing a federal framework on post-traumatic stress disorder. A post-traumatic stress disorder is a condition that characterized by persistent emotional distress occurring as a result of physical injury or severe psychological shock, and typically involves disturbance of sleep and constant vivid recall of the traumatic experiences. Whereas, while nonprofit organizations and governmental resources to address mental health issues, including PTSD, exist at the federal and provincial levels, there is no coordinated national strategy that would expand the scope of support to ensure long-term solutions. And many Canadians, in particular, persons who have served as first responders, firefighters, military personnel, correction officers, and members of the RCMP have PTSD and would greatly benefit from the development and implementation of a federal framework on PTSD that provide the best practices of research, education, awareness, and treatment.
I will share with you the subsidies that Zahara and her family may able to avail. The government transfers all the cash benefits received from federal, provincial, territorial, or municipal governments in 2015. It includes old age security pension, guaranteed income supplement, allowance or allowance for the survivor, retirement, disability, and survivor benefits from Canada Pension Plan and Quebec Pension Plan, benefits from employment insurance and Quebec Parental Insurance Plan, child benefits from federal and provincial programs, social assistance benefits, workers' compensation benefits, working income tax benefit, goods and services tax credit and harmonized sales tax credit, and other income from the government resources.
I am talking about the local resources for clients that suffer from the HIV. St. James Community Corner collaborates with the HIV prevention program to provide harm reduction and sexual health services to the St. James Town community. There is a Health Access St. James Town, which is a pioneering community-based model of localized service coordination and collaboration, where highly skilled and friendly intake workers connect residents to health and social services with different partner organizations such as Progress Place Mental Wellness, Women Health in Women's Hand, CHC. These intake workers provide help and support services to affected people at the St. James Town Community Corner and at various sites in the community, such as Rose Avenue, Public School, St. James Town Public Library. The Toronto Public Health also provided various types of services for people who are suffering from this illness. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for participating in this group presentation, and thank you for listening to our presentation. The next slide is the references that we take for this mental health presentation. And thank you a lot.